This is the OBSBOT Tiny 2. This is the OBSBOT Tail Air, and this is the OBSBOT Tail 2. And this is one of the most ridiculous cameras I've ever used in my life. I'm sure you guys have already seen those AI face tracking cameras like the Insta360 Link or the OBSBOT Tiny 2. And a little while back, OBSBOT also released the Tail Air, which I called the bigger brother of the Tiny 2, except this one's a little bit different because you can use it completely independent of your PC. So you can stream directly from it. It's got its own built-in battery. You can record to an SD card. It even has micro HDMI, so you could connect it to your PC and get even better quality out of it. The Tail 2 takes that same idea, but brings it to a whole different level. For one, this camera is enormous. Like, this is the Tail Air. It's like double the size of the Tail Air. The optics on this camera are also insane. Now, normally when I do these camera videos, I record the whole video using the camera, and then I do like this big reveal at the end where I'm like, oh yeah, actually all of the footage was recorded on the camera. I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna tell you right off the bat, all of the A-roll for this video will be shot on the Tail 2. Now, I don't like injecting my own personal opinion because you can just use your eyes to figure out if it looks good. But I don't think I need to tell you, like, this looks insane. Yes, OBSBOT is sponsoring this video, and they did send me out this camera so that I could make the video. So if you think I'm just being a shill for OBSBOT, then go watch someone else's video. I don't know what you want me to do about that. If it turns out that I'm lying to you guys just for a quick buck, it's going to be immediately obvious because everyone else is not going to like the camera, and then I'm going to look stupid here. So just go watch many videos and then come back here and then tell me if I was lying. Now, the Tail 2 does a lot of the same face tracking stuff that the previous OBSBOT cameras do, except this one can zoom out, and then I can turn on the face tracking. I can just get up and I can walk around. This is crazy. And I'm getting all of this inside of a package that looks, frankly, like almost as good as my mirrorless cameras. I can walk over here and it just moves around and then it just tracks me. By the way, I have my doors open because the sound quality in this room is kind of bad. So I just open it up and it makes the audio quality sound way better. Anyway, I can walk around and it tracks me wherever I go. And then I can just push the preset button here, sit back down, and then zoom in again. I feel pretty confident in saying that this is the clearest face tracking camera on the market right now. Am I wrong about that? Is there like, I can't imagine that there's something clearer than this. Video quality aside, this is, as far as I know, the first face tracking camera that has optical zoom. So right now, you're looking at the footage at 2x optical zoom, but I can actually zoom out to 1x, and it actually goes all the way in to 5 times optical zoom. And if you actually look at the camera itself, like when I'm zooming out, you can actually see the optics of the camera tightening up and opening up as I zoom in and out. So if I go from 1x to 5x, you can see it opening up, which is absolutely wild to look at. The optical zoom on the Tail 2 opens up this camera to so many more use cases. Imagine an amateur sports broadcast. You could have the camera zoom in on individual players and use the AI tracking to follow them as they run around the field. Churches would love this too. You guys would be surprised to find out that churches actually have some of the most insane baller streaming setups you've ever seen. I don't know where the hell they're getting their money. I'm kidding. I know where they're getting their money from. We're not getting religion, okay? Some of y'all love Jesus.
This was paid cash. This was paid cash. This was paid cash.
Anyway, church broadcasts would look insane on this. Point is, the optical zoom on the Tail 2 is really impressive. But I don't really have the space in this room to properly do the optical zoom justice. So I went outside. So this is me at the park right next to my house. I found this giant spiderweb looking thing. So I decided to show you guys how awesome I am at climbing. This is what climbing Mount Everest must be like. The pole is so hot. I'm never leaving the fucking house again. All the tracking you see here was done by the camera itself. There was no cameraman, no one was controlling the camera. I only used my phone to zoom in, but all of the moving around was controlled by the OBSBOT app. Like I said, the optical zoom maxes out at 5 times, but you can actually go all the way to 12 times digital zoom, and it still looks pretty good. But yeah, optical zoom is nuts here. You can actually physically see the lens closing in when you zoom in. It's so dope. The new OBSBOT firmware is supposed to be much better at tracking objects as well. You can pretty much just draw a box around any object you want, and it will try to track it. Most of the time, that's gonna be a person, but I did find this bin chicken and I chased it around for a little while, and it actually did a remarkable job staying locked in on that bird. How insane is this footage? It's not even the best lighting. It was like 35 degrees that day, so I decided to stay in the shaded area, and it still looks pretty sharp. All right, I'm standing in front of these 2 giant metal balls. What these actually represent are balls. So right now we're at 1x zoom. I'm in the shadow, so like, let's move to the front so you guys can see. 2x zoom, 3x zoom, 4x zoom, and then that's 5x zoom. So we've like totally maxed out the optical zoom range for this, but we can still keep going. So we can go up to 12x. So we're gonna go to this peace sign here and just like keep going 12x zoom. So we're still, that's at 9.5 there. That's 12x zoom. Here's some more footage of the optical zoom. I found one of those towers from Fortnite, and my inner 12-year-old ass couldn't resist climbing it. So here's what it looks like at 1 times zoom. So I'm pretty far away from this thing. Here's at 2 times. Here it is at 3 times. Here it is at 4 times. And here it is at maximum optical zoom. You can clearly make out my face here. Like, seriously, look how far away this camera is from that tower, and you can still make out the details. Even at this distance, the AI tracking still works. Kind of lost me here because of my epic gamer skills, but this is where it gets really cool. Do you guys remember the original Insta360 Link? It had this really cool feature where if you wanted to record a TikTok video, you could physically rotate the camera on its side. And this was the only AI face tracking camera that could do that. And that's because it has a 3-axis gimbal. The Link 2 got rid of that 3rd axis. The Tiny 2 didn't have that 3rd axis. The Tail Air didn't have that 3rd axis. The Tail 2 solves this issue in the most insane way I've ever seen. It still only has a 2-axis gimbal, but instead it actually physically rotates the sensor inside of the body of the camera itself. It doesn't just crop the video, you can actually see the camera rotating inside the actual lens itself. And this allows you to take advantage of the full 4K sensor of the camera. You can actually see in this footage here, when I rotate the camera, you can see more of the foreground. When I walk up to it, it's super sharp. Not only is this one of the coolest things I've ever seen in a camera, but one of the problems with the original Insta360 Link was, although you could physically tilt the camera on its side, the way the gimbal works, you're not able to physically point the camera up and down anymore. Like, you're physically restrained to only pointing left and right. But because it's the sensor inside of the camera rotating here, you could actually still do face tracking and body tracking and move the camera up and down in portrait mode. This is something that you're not able to do on any other face tracking camera that I've ever seen before. Like, you still have all of the maneuverability that you have in landscape mode, but you can just do it in portrait mode now. And the result is the most insane TikTok setup ever. I can't get over this footage right here where you can see the sensor physically rotating. It's so cool. But I'm never gonna stream on TikTok, so yeah, let's head back inside. So like the Tail Air, you could connect to this camera in a few different ways. Number one, you could connect it to your PC and use it just like a webcam. It has its own desktop software where you could move the gimbal around. You can connect to it using the OBSBOT app for iPhone or Android. And they also have this little remote. This is a separate purchase though. It doesn't come with the camera. It's the same one that works with the Tail Air. So if you have this remote, it's gonna work with the Tail 2. Oh yeah, and you can also use an Elgato Stream Deck if you have one as well. They have a Stream Deck plugin and you can use that to control the gimbal. I prefer to use the app. It's really easy to use. You can pan around using this little joystick or by tapping the screen and holding. I did not know this for like 5 hours. The little joystick sucks. I much prefer just dragging around on the screen. It feels a lot more intuitive. You can also press this button to activate the zoom dial. I also didn't know about this for 5 hours. I was sitting here pressing the up and down arrows like an idiot. And just like all the other cameras from OBSBOT, you could also have it track things. Normally, that's gonna be a person, but they now have this feature where you can pretty much track any object you want. You just draw a square around it, and then it just uses some AI magic to just follow it around. I tried this with a bunch of random shit in my room, and it works phenomenally well. A really cool way to use this is if you want to get some B-roll footage, you can mount the Tail 2 onto a camera slider, and as you move the slider, you get this really smooth parallax effect. And because the optics on the camera are really good, you get some insane shots of this that are not as easy to do if you only have a standard mirrorless camera. You can still set 3 preset positions just like you can on all the other OBSBOT cameras. Also, because the Tail 2's sensor can physically rotate in the body itself, there's a feature called roll axis fine adjustment. So if you have your Tail 2 mounted on a surface that's not quite flat, you can correct it. So no other OBSBOT camera can do this because you need that third axis of rotation. Most of the other features are exactly the same as the Tail Air, so I'm too lazy to show you that, so just go watch my Tail Air video. You still have manual exposure control, so you can control the ISO and the shutter speed. I don't think you can control the aperture, but I've just left the exposure on auto for this whole video. You have all the same connectivity options as well. You can still connect it to your PC as a standard webcam. There's 2 USB-C ports now. There's one just for power and then one to connect it to your PC. It has full HDMI now, which is awesome because I have broken so many of those little micro HDMI adapters. And there's SDI now. I have literally nothing that uses SDI, so let's just move on. I should mention that the Tail 2 does not have a built-in microphone, which is a bit of a shame because the OBSBOT microphones are usually not that bad, but if you want to get audio out of this thing, you are going to have to connect an external microphone. So you could use like a wireless lav mic setup, which is what I have right now. I think you guys have been listening to this mic for the whole video, but yeah, I got a video on this microphone coming out like in a couple days, so just hang tight. If you want microphone options, we'll talk about that soon. But yes, you will need to connect an external mic if you want to get audio out of this. You can also connect to this camera using NDI, but keep in mind you do need to purchase an NDI key separately. So that is an additional cost if you want to do that. There are some bundles that include an NDI key, so I'll leave them linked down below. If you want a free way to connect to this camera wirelessly, it does support SRT, and I tried it. It works really well. What is SRT? Something. I don't know what it is, but I tried it and it works. If you want a video talking about SRT, go Google it. I can't be bothered making it myself. But basically with SRT, you can do these really cool streaming setups where you can take the OBSBOT Tail 2 on the road with you and then stream back to your PC back home that has OBS on it. So you could have like all of your layouts and scene controls and whatever. And then in case your connection dies from the Tail 2, you could have like a scene set up in OBS that says like, oh no, my internet died or something. So it's really good for redundancy. And then finally, just like the Tail Air, you can control the Tail 2 using your Stream Deck. So if you hate having to take out your phone just to control the webcam, you can have buttons on your Stream Deck to move the gimbal left and right. My only complaint is if you have a Stream Deck Plus that has the dials, you can use the dials to like zoom in, which feels really cool. I just wish you could use the dials to also move the camera left and right, because I don't like using buttons to move it. I just want to use the dial. I think it'll be sick. Like use it like an Etch-a-Sketch. Please add that functionality to the Stream Deck plugin, because that would make this setup perfect for me. If you want to know more about this camera, come watch me on my live streams. I stream twice a week over on Twitch and here. So if you want a live demonstration of the optical zoom or the face tracking, I'm gonna have this camera permanently mounted somewhere, probably right here. So you can come ask me there. Affiliate links for the Tail 2 are down below. Use them if you want. Don't use them. I don't care. If you think I'm a shill just because I spent 15 minutes glazing this camera, I totally understand. So, go watch someone else's video. Go do your research. Watch a couple like unsponsored videos so you can get like a fair comparison, because I understand how it looks when a company pays someone for a video and then they do nothing but say positive things. But honestly, this camera has blown me away, and I'm loving every second using it. If it dies, I will literally buy another one using my own money. So. But again, if you don't believe me, I don't know, what do you want me to do about that?